Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it is Pacquiao Bradley weekend. It goes down Saturday night, HBO pay-per-view. Of course, one of the voices you will hear. The man has been doing it quite a bit and doing it quite well, I might add. We'll get into that in a minute. Roy Jones Jr. is here. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. Well, first of all, I mean, let's also talk about it. This is Hot 97. You've had your share of rap records over the years as well. I'm sure. Have you made a visit to Hot 97 before?
Yes, I have.
I'm about to say, during the Lil Jon
Yes.
era?
Yep, around that time.
Good question here. During that time, did you ever meet the late, great Big Cap, who passed away recently?
Never met Big Cap, nope.
Yeah, because you guys were on the same record, I think.
Yeah.
Or you want to Put Your Hood Up remix?
No, I wasn't on that.
Bia remix?
Bia remix.
Bia remix, of course. Are you done with rap? Are you still
No,
going?
I still do a little bit here and there. I still do a little bit here and there.
How were you always into rap too?
Yeah, I was. I always listened to it growing up. I always listened to rap on a whole. I was back in the Eric B. Rakim days. You know what I'm saying? I was just always the Public Enemy days. I was around all the time. So I loved rap music from the Bismarck on down.
Well, growing up in Pensacola, right? People don't associate the South. People have a tendency now, because the South has been so big over the last 15 years, to forget that in the days when Roy Jones Jr. was a kid, there were local Southern artists, but if you were really into rap, you were rocking out with all the classic East Coast.
That's exactly
a lot
right.
of people don't remember that. So for you, it was Eric B. Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, Public Enemy, all that.
Run DMC, all that.
And I think people forget that, because now we're so used to Atlanta being such a huge influence, but that wasn't the case back
the
then.
East Coast is what I grew up on.
And that's still the core of who you are, I'm sure. Roy, Pacquiao Bradley. Is this the last time we'll see Manny Pacquiao?
No, it's not the last time you'll see Manny. Well, I don't know. All depends on the outcome of the fight. And I say that because Bradley's bringing a lot more to the table this time. And he's bringing a lot more to the table because he has Teddy Atlas as a trainer. As you know, Teddy Atlas and Freddie Roach are like the Hatfields and the McCoys. They are two descendants of trainers who hated one another.
That's right.
Therefore, they hate one another.
Yes.
And with them hating one another, this is going to make it very interesting, because now it's like, normally, don't get it twisted, Freddie wants to win, but it's a fight, and Freddie has nothing but the fact that he wants to win for his fighter, which everybody has. But when you got another trainer over there, like another jockey on a horse that you know that you hate, and he has the perfect horse for him, now you got to think to beat this guy, because this guy has his dream horse. And in Tim Bradley, that's Teddy Atlas's dream horse. A guy who will listen, who will believe, who loves to be screamed at, and who will do everything, who will die for what Teddy Atlas says. So that's Teddy Atlas's dream horse. Now Freddie got to get up and ride a little different. Then you got to take riding a little bit more serious. And that's why I think this is going to be a great fight.
Now, I just heard from a friend here in Vegas earlier that more people are betting on Bradley, but there's more money on Pacquiao. Who is the real favorite in this fight to you?
The money favorite is Pacquiao, but people are realizing that with Teddy Atlas having the horse of his choice, he can make it very interesting. That's why the smaller money with more people probably is coming in on Bradley, but the big-time people who study the sport, know that Pacquiao is definitely the best horse, because he's won 2 out of the 2 they had. He's 1-1 on paper, but Pacquiao really won both of them.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That first one, of course, Bradley getting the nod in the decision, but most everyone who watched that fight live thought that Pacquiao got the win that night. Now, Roy, I got to ask you about you. Listen, I can't be a man who says things when you're not here and then won't ask you while you're here. Of course, I just covered it on ESPN a couple weeks ago, you getting in the ring still, and I know you've heard it 9,000 times, so I'm sorry to bother you with the same question.
Have you ever boxed before?
Never in my life.
Okay, so it's like, when you never boxed before, how old were you when you started doing radio?
I was 17.
Did somebody tell you at 10 that you should do radio?
No, I just decided myself.
Exactly. Did anybody tell you, though, at 10 years old that you were going to be a great radio guy one day?
Perhaps that.
Somebody told you at 10?
At 10, I knew very early that there was a chance.
You knew, but nobody came and told you.
No,
right?
no, I didn't have that.
That's my point. So my point is that God put it in you, or else you wouldn't be doing it right now, right?
Right.
So when God put it in you, is it right for me to come tell you, oh, you shouldn't do radio?
No.
Okay, that's my point with boxing. So before we even go any further, all I listen to is that I hear people, and I understand. I do understand the concern. I appreciate the concern. I have 37 years in boxing already. If there's something going to be wrong with me, there's nothing I can do to change that.
Well, no, for me, I'm not even worried.
No, I understand. I'm just saying that's the first thing.
Okay.
Second thing is, I'm not in boxing to compete at a elite level no more. No, I'm not. I just wanted one shot at the cruiserweight title. Win, lose, or draw, I'm done. But I deserve that shot, because that'll give me a chance to win every title from middleweight to heavyweight with nothing in between. I haven't gotten that shot to where I could really prepare properly, be ready, get my mind right, and do it for real. So it kind of haunts me because I don't want to wait till I'm old and gray and say, I wonder what would have happened had I got a real shot, a legitimate shot, gave it my all in training camp, and win at that title like that.
What part of it for you, and I totally hear you, I think that's something a lot of us on the outside have a tough time relating to, is you're still a young man, right?
Of course, 47 is young.
So we're sitting there watching, we go, man, you do. You have a lot of life to live.
Of course.
You have a lot to do.
Of course.
You obviously have a great job, so you don't need to do it financially.
No.
But what is it when you're not fighting, because obviously it's in your blood, what is it that you miss the most? What is it that you always crave and you need to get back to feel one more time? Is it walking in the arena? Is it knocking someone out? What's the feeling you desire?
I don't really have a desirable feeling with that because I did enough of it. I made sure I made the best of every night that I could. You feel me? That's not my desire. My only desire is I wanted a legitimate shot at a cruiserweight title just to see could I do it, and that was it.
And you feel truly that if you were to get that chance, win, lose, or draw, you could walk away?
No, I know I would walk away. Let me tell you something. It's harder to fight than it is to not fight. It's easier to walk away because you never have to worry about disappointing your kids, your family, your fans no more. It's easy to just say, I'm not taking a chance no more. That's the easy way out. I could easily do that right now and be like, I'm not going to take a chance to disappoint nobody anymore. I'm tired. I don't like the look that I see in their faces when I do that. And I don't. So that would be the easy thing to do. But the people, the fans, my kids, my wife, none of them gave me this gift. So if God gives me the intuition to go on, I got to go on because that's who gave me the gift.
How difficult or not difficult was it for you to become a broadcaster? You have come a long way. At first, you seemed like a little bit of a fish out of water when you first started, and now when I watch you, I'm like, man, Roy has really come into his own. And by the way, it's a different art form, especially when you're sitting next to someone like Lampley, who we just talked to, one of the greatest to ever do it, one of the most polished.
The greatest.
Yeah, he's incredible. So for you, what has that ascent been like as a broadcaster?
It's been okay with me because I know the sport so well, and it's easy. I just had to learn to articulate it and slow down and articulate it to where people could understand. And I love giving examples and making parallel comparisons of things, and I love my southern way of delivering messages. So for me, because I'm so knowledgeable in the sport, it's very easy now. I just had to get comfortable speaking in front of the camera, learning to slow down and enunciate each word so that the fans can understand exactly what the heck you're trying to say.
Yeah, well, at first you're just a boxing fan who's excited, and then you just blurted things out.
Exactly. That's what I was used to.
Right.
I was used to when Larry Merchant put the microphone in front of me. Larry, I can beat anybody. I don't care who they is. Tell them what my phone number is. I don't care who they want. If they want it, they know they can come get it. It's Roy Jones. I'm in Pensacola, Florida. Pensacola now. Just bring me whatever. But I had to slow down because now it's not about me. It's about the two fighters fighting, and the people want to know what's going on. Can I explain to them why this guy's winning and why this guy's not? And you have to slow down to explain that to them.
Tell me a good Michael Jordan story. First of all, you and MJ still cool?
Yeah, we're gonna always be cool.
And you're one of the original Jordan athletes. Yeah, any Jordan stories come to mind? I mean, he's one of a kind, and there aren't a lot of people who've gotten to work with him over the years.
No, I don't really have any interesting Jordan stories except that when I was dealing with him, I was always this loner type guy, and I never would go places, or I just never really bother people because I feel like enough people bother celebrities. So I'm the type of guy, I don't really bother, you know what I mean? And I went to Chicago for an event, and I didn't call him because I didn't know, and I really didn't have his number at the time either. So when I seen him about 6 months later, he said, "Hey man, don't you ever come to Chicago again and don't call me, you understand?"
You're like, "I'm sorry, Michael Jordan."
My bad, brother. I mean, I just didn't want to buy. Don't come to Chicago and don't call me again. I said, "All right, Mike, I got you, brother." And that's the great Michael Jordan. You feel me? So,
of the other veterans who were around, the greats of your era, are there any fighters that you talk to with any regularity or have any sort of bond with, either foes or people from other divisions that you just gotten to know over the years?
Talk to B-Hop all the time because we work together now. Talk to Andre Ward a lot. Talk to Sugar anytime I see Sugar because of he's Sugar, you know.
He still looks fantastic, by the way.
Of course he does. Of course he does.
He ain't never gonna crack.
No, he's not.
Sugar Ray looks the exact same.
Exactly. And I still talk to Air Ice Cold pretty often. A couple of guys I talk to, but for the most part, B-Hop probably more so than the rest because of our job.
Do you think that the promotion for Pacquiao Bradley, Saturday night, HBO pay-per-view, MGM Grand, do you think the fight took a hit because of the Pacquiao controversy?
I don't know. I'm not sure about that, but I do know that the fight is going to be better than either of the first two were. And it's because of Freddie Roach and Teddy Atlas not liking each other, their dislike for one another. Both of the athletes have to feel this dislike, and both of the athletes have to realize that now they are basically an extension of that hate.
So they need to want to win.
No, they have to want to win because they want to win for their guy.
Right.
Both guys don't want to let their guy down.
As a fighter, can you have that extra incentive will make a difference?
Heck yeah, it's gonna make a difference. Whoever gets caught is either gonna get caught because they're trying too hard for their guy, or he's gonna get the other guy's gonna catch him because he's trying to catch him so hard for his guy. So that is gonna be a difference in this fight.
What's when you're in there in the ring? This is something. I mean, you're a warrior. You did something that someone like me could never ever relate to. What do you think is the part of it that's most hard to relate to? That you could never explain to your wife, that you could never explain to anyone what the feeling's like when you're purely alone out there? Is there anything in particular about boxing? I don't know if it's sitting in the corner when you're in the middle of a brawl and you're not sure if you're going to win or lose.
Going to the ring.
The entrance.
The walk to the ring. It's no feeling like that ever. Because it's like, you know what? I'm alive right now, but I may not be in the next 10 minutes. And guess what? I'll be a happy ass if I'm not, because I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. And nobody else would understand that, because they're like, no, we want you healthy, we want you happy, we want you. He out there waiting to try to kill me, and I'm finna go try to do the same thing to him. And that's just what it is. We are about to go to war, and that's what it is.
I mean, you just summed it up. That's that warrior mentality that is obviously the difference. Hey, Roy, listen, good luck getting your title shot. I hope you get it. You've certainly done enough in your career to earn it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish you the best. You're doing a fantastic job on HBO. We look forward to seeing Pacquiao Bradley, man.
Thank you, brother.